Well, let's go. We are joined by a man who's been reviewing gadgets before most of us knew what a USB-C was. A pioneer in the tech space, not the guy who's jumped on the wave, but the guy who helped build it.
Okay. Yes.
He's trusted by millions, backed by the biggest brands in tech.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
talking honest reviews, sharp
Always.
insights, and the cleanest setup in the game.
So clean.
If it powers on, connects to Wi-Fi, or costs more than your rent, he's probably already tested it.
He has.
This is the internet's tech professor.
Yep.
He's got 2.1 million subscribers. The one and only
My guy.
SuperSaf.
SuperSaf.
Alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Bro, I need to hire you guys as my hype man. You know what I mean?
Hey, it worked.
We get better. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you for the amazing intro. I saw that was that's really got me going, man.
Oh,
I didn't even need the coffee.
It's well deserved. Well, that's what we saw. You weren't coming caffeinated, so we had to give you inject you with some of that energy, man. Alhamdulillah. How you doing, bro?
Alhamdulillah, bro. It's good. It's good to be here. Good to see the space, man.
Yeah.
Mashallah, it's amazing, beautiful space, and yeah, man. You guys have really done a really good job here.
Do you know what, Alhamdulillah, we're really proud of it. Yeah, I was gonna try to go down the humble approach, but no, we're very proud of the space that we built, man. Like, we had this vision, and it's just executed. Like, actually, Ash's guys executed this whole thing.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ash.
Yeah, because like it's similar way that because they did the gym and stuff like that. So
Oh, mashallah,
have you seen this
man.
gym?
I haven't. No.
It's here in this area.
Oh, brilliant.
5-10 minutes away. Yeah.
All right, we'll go for a session after this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Get some boxing session in, man. How you been, Saf?
Alhamdulillah, bro. Just keeping busy. Been back and forth here a few times, so it's nice to be back. Nice to see you, man. As always.
Always lovely to see you too. We had yesterday on Dr. Fawzi Katranji, who's like recently just gone absolutely insanely viral on all the AI and tech pages online, because he just posted this. He didn't have a lot of followers or anything, but he just like posted this video of when he analyzes a X-ray of lungs, he can diagnose pneumonia. And now his hospital have implemented this new AI system that instantly detects pneumonia and can find it. And he created a video about it, and he was like, "Oh, look, like I've got 20 years of experience, and now we've implemented this software, and instantly it can detect AI," and just went absolutely nuts. And it went viral everywhere, and he's like just blowing up because of it. So we had him on yesterday, but it kind of made me think about the fact that we got you on today, because I know, like, obviously having you on, we've always discussed tech and hardware mainly.
Yeah.
And the kind of thought came to my mind, or has been coming to my mind recently, which is, do you feel a level of pressure as a tech YouTuber to go into kind of like transition, I guess, from hardware to software, or even transition kind of more down the AI route, because that's what's kind of like, I suppose, the future and what's trending? Is that pressure there or not really? Hey, before we jump into the rest of the episode, just a quick message to say that if you've ever laughed with us, learned something, or felt that spark of connection through these episodes, you can get access to much more over at our Patreon. By joining the Freshly Grounded family, you'll get an extra weekly show that's hosted by members of the Freshly Grounded team. You get access to our exclusive brothers only and sisters only online community space. And most importantly, you help us keep the mics on and keep the mission moving. So, if the podcast has ever hit home, don't just stand at the door, knock. Join the family at patreon.com/freshly grounded. Okay, now let's get back to the episode.
To an extent, but I think doing what I do, covering tech products, is based on the software. So, for example, Samsung phone has Galaxy AI. So I'm naturally going to cover that anyway. Even if it was something else, I'd be covering it. As with Apple Intelligence. So things like that, which are incorporated into the devices that I'm covering. But I'm not like somebody who's doing a separate video just on AI or something like that. I'm more kind of focusing on consumer electronics. And I think one of the good things is doing what I do, I'm kind of seeing it from the consumer's perspective as well. So how is this AI going to make my life different, rather than, what is this, something really complex or something that you probably will never come across. So I think from that perspective, it's not too pressured right now.
So I asked my audience, I don't know if you noticed that, I also have somewhat of an audience.
Quite big in the game, yeah.
Two heavyweights right now, just
Yeah,
just two peers. Two peers.
I think you just passed 1,000 followers.
Yeah, I did.
Mashallah,
I didn't want to say numbers, but there you go.
Mashallah, man, that's amazing.
Like I said, two peers. I asked them, like, look, having this interview tomorrow with SuperSaf, and
I didn't see that post, did you?
No,
I
you're-
haven't seen him already.
are you one of my 1,000 followers?
I am. My
Okay.
followers, yeah.
Maybe you should
Okay,
check that.
nice.
Yeah.
Involving
When I
the
post a
community.
story, people look at that.
Nice.
Right, at least 100 of them anyway. I asked them, like, what do you want to know about SAF, and what should we ask? And the tech stuff has been done. You do, I believe you do tech, right?
Yeah.
So
A little bit.
yeah. I was kind of hoping they went that way with, like, you know, the man behind this, the mirror glasses, mashallah. So I kind of want to know, like, a couple things. I'll start with, what's your routine like? Like, having a YouTube channel as big as yours, Allahumma barik, what is it like to manage that on a day-to-day basis? What do you record in the early morning, in the afternoon, nighttime? What's your? I guess let's start with morning routine. What's your
Great
daily
question,
routine?
Kais,
Yeah.
for everybody.
Come on.
Morning routine of the tech
And-
YouTuber.
And if you're wondering how do I get 1,000 followers, it's questions like that.
yeah,
It's questions
exactly,
like that.
Yeah, you can interview
So-
him after. yeah.
So morning routine, wake up, coffee is the first thing. I'm quite strict. I generally only have 1 cup of coffee a day.
Okay.
That's it. That gives me that kick in the morning that I need, and that's it.
Why is that? Because you get jitters and stuff, or?
More so that I like the effect that coffee has on me, and I don't want that to go away. Because I see a lot of people who then have 5-6 cups of coffee, and it gives them a short buzz. Like with me, I'll get my kick, and then it lasts, and I'll be like, I don't want to lose that.
That's smart, because I feel like I'm on like 3-4, and I'm like, I barely feel it now.
Yeah, so this is the thing. You obviously, with more you have of something, then you just kind of lose that effect, and I don't want to lose that effect. So I have that. That's the first thing that I have in the morning. Some of it's kind of boring sometimes. It's just going through emails, contracts.
Yeah.
That actually takes up a long chunk.
Yeah.
Seeing what the plan is, what we're going to be doing. I'm not somebody who has like a strict schedule, because every day is different.
Yeah.
If there's a new product, then there might be a week where I'm barely sleeping, covering as much as I can. So when the new iPhone releases, man is on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But when there's other times, it might be, okay, I'm covering a laptop this week, right? So then it would be a case of actually using that. So, the whole transfer process, which always takes long. But yeah, getting onto that, using it as a daily device in my day-to-day, going through emails, editing video, things like that, and then seeing how that is. Now, in terms of the video process, if there is a video on, then the thing that I think a lot of people don't see is just the amount of time before you even hit record, like the prep that you have to do.
Yeah.
Because if I'm covering a device, I need to know everything about that device. If I'm reviewing a TV, I need to use that TV. I need to know exactly what's what with that TV before I actually do a video. So before that, they might be potentially days or weeks worth of full usage of a particular device before we even get to that stage of recording.
Yeah.
Does that slow you down though in terms of being first to get a content out about that piece?
So there's always a race against time, unless you're somebody like my friend Marquez, MKBHD, then he can upload whenever he wants and it's fine. But for the rest of us, there is a race against time. You do want to get something out quick, because if you don't, then the views, like, it's a massive impact, and it also affects SEO with YouTube. If you've got a video that's already doing well, it's going to be pushed out to more people. Whereas if you upload something a little bit later and you just miss that window, now it depends on the product as well. So for instance, if it's like a hands-on unboxing of an iPhone, for example, that needs to be live ASAP. Now those types of videos, you kind of already know some about it. Like for instance, with, we just covered the Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge, the thinnest phone in the world right now. We had a briefing.
Yeah. What about that?
Yeah. So great at marketing. Just by saying one line, I'm already in. Thinnest phone edge in the world. Yes, please.
Link
You'll get
in
the
the description.
iPhone 17 Air, which is rumored to come out later on this year.
Really?
Yeah, very thin.
That's
But
really interesting.
Isn't
That's
it
fast
foldable?
work,
Is it going to be foldable, right?
No.
No? Which
I
one?
think the foldable iPhone, the rumored anyway,
Yeah.
is potentially next year.
Okay.
But yeah, so very thin. The theory is that because there's rumors of an iPhone 17 Air coming out, which is going to be thin, Samsung were like, okay, we need to do it before them. So
Really?
that's literally what it seems like that they've got this S25 Edge for, is to get before Apple. But with that, for example, we would have a pre-brief beforehand. So we'd find out about the device beforehand. We'd have a hands-on session as well, say, for example, with Samsung or somebody else. So you have a bit more time to prepare. And then you have an embargo time. So embargo is, before that, you sign a contract, you can't post anything. As soon as it hits whatever time, 1 a.m. on a Tuesday, which was the S25
Yeah.
Edge, then like you'll see a flurry of videos. If anybody's into tech, you'll usually notice there's like 50 videos that go live at the same time, and that's because you have that sort of pre briefing and the hands-on beforehand. So for those sorts of situations, it's fine. But others, you kind of, just there's been times where I've literally had to try to turn a video around in a day. So go down to London, pick up a device, come back to the studio in Leicester, shoot it all, edit it. It's like a 18, 20-hour shift, just trying to get it all done. So there are times like that as well.
Yeah, a couple of things I want to take from that. One, you mentioned your friend Marcus Brownlee, right? How is that ecosystem of like all the tech? Is it like, do you guys communicate? Is there a little community there?
Is there a WhatsApp group?
Yeah, is there a WhatsApp? Is there a WhatsApp group, or is it like actually a bit of animosity, a little bit of you break into someone's studio, silly, string it up? What is it like?
There is not a WhatsApp group because Americans don't use WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you know what? I only learned about this when I was at 13.
Yeah, that's
Madness.
a trend. But it's getting big though. It's getting there.
I only learned about this when I was at 13 because WhatsApp, especially in the Middle East, but even in the UK, it's just such a norm, right? And we were trying to understand the US market, realized that they don't use WhatsApp, and they actually run adverts in the US trying to convince the US consumer to start WhatsApp groups and start using WhatsApp for conversation. And I was like, I've never seen a WhatsApp advert in the UK because it's just the norm. It's the default.
Yeah.
Everybody uses WhatsApp, right? So the thing is with there's actually a whole thing in the US, especially with the younger generation because of iMessage. So if you don't have iMessage, and then you've got the green bubbles and the blue bubbles, and if you are somebody who's using an Android phone, like how they use an Android phone, then you're not really part of the group. Like there's actually this whole thing which there's like peer pressure,
Status.
There's peer pressure for kids to have an iPhone, so they don't even want to look at an Android phone. So this is the thing in America. It's huge, like the whole iMessage thing and SMS. People don't use WhatsApp. So some of my friends are on WhatsApp. I think a few more have now started to come onto Telegram because they don't like WhatsApp. But it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy how that works. So we don't have a WhatsApp group.
Fine.
Telegram group?
No, so there's a few that I'm quite close with. A few tech content creators. There's my podcast co-host. Enabong from Board at Work, who I speak to a lot. So we catch up all the time. We work together on a lot of things. There's a few other friends that I'm quite close with. The likes of Marquez and stuff, we get together at events and, I do my usual traditional Apple photo. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it.
I know. The one where you look taller than Marquez.
Because it's real. That's what it is.
Sure, Okay. All right.
But yeah, so we kind of, if there's anything, then obviously just, message each other, whatever it is, if there's a question, if there's something that's going on. But in terms of I think one thing in the tech community, generally speaking, is everybody's kind of, there's lots of cake to go around, essentially. Lots of slices of cake to go around. We don't need to kind of step on each other's toes sort of a thing. Everyone's got their kind of niches, their audiences. Our audiences cross over as well. So generally, alhamdulillah, the sort of feeling is quite positive. I appreciate it.
That's good.
It's interesting because there's a WhatsApp group for that some of the Muslim content creators are in.
Okay.
And I would say this has only come about over the past year or so, and it's a really wholly positive place where we everyone really encourages each other and stuff. So for example, Sunnah guy is one of the guys in this group, right? The guy's got 2.7 million followers, and you would think that, but he's one of the most active people in there, and he would give people feedback on their content and stuff like that. And recently, one of the brothers posted he just launched a new podcast, and me and Shaib Sunnah guy were giving him feedback on mic placement and things like that. It's a really nice, encouraging place, and there's some big shuyukh in there and stuff like that as well. And it kind of feels nice because I never had that until the past year or two. But been in the content space for 10 years now, and so it's actually a really nice space. When you have, in whatever shape or form, for us it might be a WhatsApp community, for you guys it's being able to keep in touch with each other. But just like you said, there's actually, from the outside looking in, it looks like competitors, but actually there's a real level of respect and professionalism between you guys, I imagine.
Yeah.
And that's nice. And you see that with you and KBHD and the others, like you see that level of like everyone has that friendliness and that respect for each other, which is nice to see.
Yeah, that's something that I do like in the tech community. You know, everybody is, there is healthy competition.
Yeah.
And it pushes you to do better. So sometimes we'll have a bit of banter and stuff like that. But I think generally it is overall quite positive. Everybody's friendly. Everybody's helpful. If, you know, somebody needs something, it's like, yeah, sure. Any sort of advice, tips, we'll all share all of that with each other sort of a thing. But yeah, there is a healthy level of competition. It's always kind of sad when everybody goes live at one time and then, you know, sometimes if say, for example, I'm using Marquez's example a lot, but there's others as well, hasn't uploaded at the time, you're like, yes, your video is going great. And then he uploads and it goes because everybody's watching his video now.
Yeah, that's funny.
And he's like, oh, man.
There's something else that you just mentioned that you kind of skimmed over, but to me, it's a really important point. And you said YouTube SEO. And so when I was the marketing lead at Tartil, we had seen a lot of growth in a lot of different kind of places online, digitally. But the one kind of like debate we had in the company, or thing that I was always kind of battling and striving with, was YouTube SEO, because it's kind of like a big myth, right? It's like, you know, some people believe, you know, it exists, and other people believe that it's just like there's not much you can do when it comes to SEO with you. Because when you think of SEO, often you think about Google, you think about blogs, you think about your own website, you think about like that kind of like avenue. You don't often think about or it's easy to skip past something like YouTube. But and also, like, you don't know how much of that algorithm, they'll only let you know so much about how much of it's controlled and how much SEO actually makes a difference. So like how much having the right keywords. I know titling a YouTube video is important, and the description is important, but more so from my angle, the title is important because it decides whether somebody will click or not once that video has been surfaced to them. But there's always been this question mark of how important is the title in terms of actually it actually being surfaced to an individual. Does that make sense?
Okay.
And so I'm intrigued about that. I'll tell you one finding that we did find a lot of success in with YouTube at Tartil, and our subscriptions just started flying in growth. But this was only through trial and error and trying to find patterns with YouTube SEO. And that was, we found that when you post YouTube Shorts, if you use how and why titles for YouTube Shorts, they do really well. And what we found is just that the difference between our YouTube audience, this might be specific to Tartil, it might not be across the board, but we found that we could post the same piece of content on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, which we did. But the YouTube Shorts audience preferred education videos and like a little bit more detail, essentially, how-tos and stuff like that. And so they also preferred how and why titles. So that's, from an SEO perspective, we did find an increase in viewership and subscriptions from that angle. But I'm intrigued to know, how much do you know about how much SEO actually is a big part of YouTube, and if it's a real thing, like optimizing, you know, search engine optimization in YouTube?
Okay, so let me ask you a question. What's the biggest search engine in the world?
You know, I would say Google, right?
Okay, what's second?
YouTube?
Yeah.
Right.
So YouTube essentially is a search engine first.
Sure.
And a video platform second. If the perfect example I can give you is, have you ever come across a video on any Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, name it, right? And you see it, and then maybe you kind of switch off or you go somewhere else. Have you ever been able to find that video again?
It's the biggest nightmare on Instagram.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah?
Yeah, on Instagram, like, I was speaking to Omar the other day. I was like, but there's this guy on Instagram, like, you have to watch his stuff. But I don't follow him, but he just always comes to me, and then I can't find him. I don't know what his name is, because I never...
He may as well not exist anymore. He's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is the thing. Now, YouTube, you come across something, right? You search for it, you're more likely to be able to find it because it is a search engine, essentially, right?
Okay, that's a good point.
The other thing is Google and YouTube, obviously, same company. So, for instance, right now, if you search for stuff on Google right now, some of the top results will be videos from YouTube.
Sure.
So, I actually get a lot of views from search. Now, obviously, that's down to my content as well. So, right now, if somebody's searching for a, new iPhone camera, like what's the camera like on the iPhone, for instance, not only are they going to be searching for that on YouTube, but they will also be searching for it on Google. My videos are going to come up on that search term as well. So then that will drive traffic through to there as well. So I think search is very important on YouTube. And as I said, I actually get for some of my videos, it's like a significant percentage, like sometimes, 40% is coming through search on some videos, because people are looking for something, they are served my video, and then they go ahead and click on it rather than something that's just suggested to them as they're going through. Now, once again, that's based because of my content. Obviously, if somebody's looking for a new phone, a new laptop, a new TV, they are likely to be searching for that, and they might come across my content, right? So that is huge. Title is the most important. Description. I still put in keywords just for YouTube. Say keywords don't really matter. They're mostly for spelling errors and things like that, so people can, it can kind of relate that. I still put them in just anyway, because it doesn't take much more effort. But yeah, title and description are very important. And as you would be thinking of SEO from a web page perspective, right, I would apply that same sort of mentality on a YouTube video. Now, even more so, because now YouTube videos, they auto caption them, and they do them pretty well as well. So even the content within your video
It's searchable.
Is using,
really
searchable.
okay.
Yeah, and now they're also doing like AI summaries of your videos, which I'm not too keen about, because it's like
I've not seen that.
Yeah,
A couple of times. I think it's slowly rolling out. But
It hasn't reached me. I've seen AI summaries on iMessage. Have you noticed that?
iMessage.
Yeah.
No.
So my iMessage, have you noticed that?
What?
Stuff?
yeah.
So basically, you have to say yeah. Okay. On iMessage.
Was it summarizing? Like someone's text message?
So basically, I'll get an F message. I'll get an F message. Sorry, I said that because I got a message from the FTA.
Okay.
So
Same here.
did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically,
Very
that's a
scary.
good example. So FTA, which is a financial trade authority,
Federal Tax Authority.
Federal Tax
Much more scary
Authority.
sounding.
Yeah, just sent a message saying that there's like a workshop on corporation tax, right? But it's like a long text and has like a webinar link. But if you just go to the iMessage homepage, it doesn't tell you the message; it summarizes the message. It says FTA invites you to attend a virtual workshop in English on corporate tax.
I haven't got that.
You haven't?
Mine is just scarily FTA. Dear me.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
What version of iOS are you in?
that's a
what
good
phone
question.
is that?
Is it even an iPhone? I'm not sure. No. I've got no idea. I've updated it for a while, so probably not on the wrong.
Let me see. This
is iPhone 14, I believe.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
You don't have Apple
All right,
Intelligence,
okay.
so
All right, so
just you can put that away.
Okay, that's
Where's the bit?
embarrassing.
I'm joking.
So like
Throw it in the
another
bin.
one,
I'm joking.
I got another one from the Astor Clinic where it says. So I took my dad there like I guess months ago, and the full message is, "Hi, my dad's name." Which is a weird way for someone to open a text. It says, your 3-month diabetes test is overdue. Regular monitoring is crucial for maintaining healthy blood sugar levels. Schedule your next visit at Astor today, and it gives a number. That's the full message.
Good marking.
But but the message that I see like on first glance is,
Diabetes.
bro, once you click on it, it's no longer the
the summary. So
summary
the summary is
goes,
just
oh.
like, for example, you've also
But
got.
anyway, it said your 3-month diabetes.
That
test.
is good.
So
That's good.
Apple Intelligence, for instance, right now, there's a lot of controversy around Apple Intelligence because they've not delivered a lot of what was promised, and a lot of things have been delayed.
By the
But
way,
one of
Apple Intelligence and Siri is not AI, right? It's never been used AI.
Well, right now, that's what it's supposed to be. The promise is that Siri is going to be much more AI focused. It's going to have ChatGPT integrated. Right now, you do have some of those features, but it's just not there yet. It's
So what's
still
Apple
very
Intelligence?
delayed. Apple Intelligence is the AI that's behind, and it's on the newer phones. So it'll be from the 15 Pro, 15 Pro Max, and all the 16 series, right? So you won't have all of these features that we're talking about here right now. So.
Idiot.
Yeah.
So this actually is a good segue actually, because I'm falling out of love with iPhone, right? But I don't know who to fall in love with, right?
Right. Now,
Okay.
this is Kaya.
Yeah.
I think this is a separate podcast.
It's right there, man.
Well, here's the thing.
You should put it away.
Yeah,
so
well,
it's
this
not
is the
hearing
thing.
it.
The reason I haven't really upgraded it is because I just don't have it. Now it sounds like it might be time to upgrade with this new 17.
What
right?
do you have? Sorry, the
14, right?
14.
Yeah.
What have you got? Still one?
Shameful.
14 Pro.
Yeah. There you go. At least.
No,
I don't know,
you don't need to upgrade. Look, so with the AI thing, firstly, right? If you go into Google, for example, right now, and you search for anything, search for whatever, right? Search for a medical query, a camera, like information about a camera or a phone, it's going to give you an AI summary before the results. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I think so.
This is on Google or like
Google,
Safari?
on Google.
Yeah, Google. Yeah,
On Google, whatever browser you're using,
Is
right?
that Gemini?
So that's Gemini, Google. That's Google summarizing that for you. Now, the problem with that is, how often are you going to click onto the website to actually find that? The website that has the ads, they want you to keep on the website, but then you've already got a summary of it, so you're not even going to click. My fear is that I don't want people to come onto my video, see kind of like a quick summary about it, and click off. I want them to watch the video. You know what I mean? So that's the one thing about like sort of AI. Now on the phone side of things, the 14. If I'm honest with you, if it's fine for you, do you need those AI features? If the answer is no at this point in time, I don't think you need to upgrade. I always say, people always ask me, like, obviously I have to upgrade my phone all the time purely because of what I do, right? Yeah. But if it's working fine for you, you're happy with it, then there's no need to upgrade. It's like...
Yeah, so far that's how I felt, right? And I haven't felt the desire to, whereas before I would have felt the desire to, the new one's out. But not so much anymore. But I'm just looking at like even your videos on the Honor devices kind of caught my eye, and I was like, oof, maybe Chinese tech is where it's at. I hope the Chinese brand. So what do you? I'm not saying I know you're in the ecosystem. I'm not going to ask you to make a recommendation, but
I'm happy to make recommendations.
He's unbiased.
Do you feel like the ecosystem is kind of leveling out a little bit more? I don't think it's quite there yet, but
you know what it is. I'll be honest with you. Like, we're having this conversation. I can pretty much guarantee you're not going to jump from iOS to Android anytime soon, because it's too hard. It's too hard of a jump because you're in the ecosystem. If you use iMessage, for example, if you use AirDrop, if you've got a MacBook, you've got an iPad. It's hard, there's a walled garden, they call it essentially, right? That everything.
I'm very much so in that ecosystem.
Exactly.
So me and Faze are quite different. He's very much in that ecosystem. So you're not. I'm not. I've actually, when it comes to my laptop, I've always been a Windows guy.
I even use Apple calendars.
Okay.
Everyone uses Google Calendar.
You use Apple Calendars.
Yeah.
Mate.
Yeah. I don't know anybody that uses.
But Apple Calendar is so good. It's honestly so good because again it syncs up to everything. Like I've got it on my wife's phone, so like when it's all synced up. Like
that's really nasty of you to do that.
Okay.
Can I just say one thing on it because we're gonna lose this point? There's so many things I want to discuss with you. You said about your device. You said like you don't need to upgrade from the iPhone 14 if it does anything for you. My wife uses the Apple Watch Series 3.
Oh wow.
And the Series 10 is out for context. Yeah. And I'm always saying to her like, should I buy you like the latest Apple Watch?
Series 4.
Exactly. She's like, no, like it does everything I need it to do. Yeah. And like even like now Eid's coming up, I was like, so I'm at that stage of marriage now where you don't surprise your wife with a gift, you just ask her what do you want. Because every time I'm like trying to surprise her, it's like so I said to her this time, I was like, look, Eid's coming up. Do you want a new Apple Watch? She's like, the Apple Watch like does everything I need it to do. So it's like my wife's very much so on that thing of like not needing
so there's a few things there. Firstly, you need to move on to Google Calendar because your wife knows your every move right now. I'm not sure if you want that. She's got your full calendar. So you have a separate one for the boys.
I've actually, first of all, I have a separate calendar because I have like different Apple calendars, but for me, they all show in the same things. I have a calendar, for example, called private, which is like not information that needs to be shared. As in, like, it could just be like, oh, I have, that sounds more traditional. It could be like, for example, Suleiman's off work on Friday. That's irrelevant news to my missus. So it's like, that's going to my private calendar. But anything that's like an appointment or whatever. Anyway, this is not about me, right? I have a Google Calendar because I need Google Calendar for work sometimes, but it's synced into my Apple Calendar.
Okay. That's fine. And she can see that too.
I'm
messing. I'm messing.
My relationship is on spotlight. Sorry, let's go back to discussion. Chinese tech.
Yeah.
So, like I just recently covered the Honor 400 Pro, and it's a very good smartphone. Like it's got a new feature. I'm not sure if you saw. I just posted on my Twitter X account. Right. It's got a feature. It uses Google's VO2 model, and it turns images into video.
Wow.
Is that sound going to be all right?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So you put in any photo. It might be an old photo of you as a kid, for example, and it will turn it into a video. And
that's
it
where
is
stuff
crazy.
Comes a little bit
I get.
Just have a look at it, just so you see what I'm talking about. And if you just go onto my Twitter right now and just have a look, like, because I don't think you you fully grasp how
So I've
deep
seen-
this is until you see it. Because if I showed anybody that video, they'll be like, "Yeah, it's a video."
Where that scares me is from an Islamic angle. And what I think we need, I don't know if it exists, maybe I'm just oblivious to it, but I feel like what we need now is a like really well-educated sheikh, yeah, like on a senior level sheikh, yeah, like a scholar of Islam,
Yeah.
who understands to a deep level AI and is consistently up to speed with what's happening. Now, I might be oblivious and what is it called? Like oblivious to the fact and ignorant to the fact that this sheikh already exists. But I don't. But there's such a big need for it because, bro, like every day there's new releases in AI. Like last week, Sam Altman and Johnny Ive come out saying that they were going to release a new AI. Where
They
everyone's
redacted it, didn't they? They redacted what they were going to do, right? Yeah.
But then, but I'm just to, my point is that the speed at how much things are getting released. Then the next day, Anthropic, is that how you pronounce it? Released Claude 4, or is it something like that? So it's like every day, but they're two major announcements.
Big Gemini
then like
thing
the
last
next
week
day,
as well.
the Google VO thing, whatever it's called, the video. So it's like. But in 1 week, essentially, 3 huge AI announcements. So not only do we need someone who's like a sheikh who's like extremely knowledgeable in Islam, but then also is up to date. Because what happens when you ask a sheikh a question, like someone like, let's say for example, someone like is like one of us, right? Has a really good understanding of the latest drops and releases in AI, and then we just go and explain it to a sheikh. We're always not going to do it justice because they're not using it, they're not in the ecosystem essentially, or like they're getting it from our first-hand experience, and we might be biased in how we explain it.
Yeah, and there's that saying, isn't there, where it's like the scholar is like the prisoner of the questioner, isn't it?
Oh,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's
bro, I
like-
remember that.
Yeah, I don't know who said that, but it's like
No, that's
however
true.
the questioner phrases it,
Exactly.
that could change the fatwa that is given.
Yeah.
So it's a techie one, but there is, I forgot the sheikh's name, but he had an opinion on crypto. I'm not sure which way he went. He had an opinion on crypto. He changed his opinion on crypto, and we're talking about like I think one of the senior scholars, or if not like maybe like one notch below type of thing. So he may be a candidate for this, where it's like someone who's aware of this sort of, Web3 is a thing anymore, but this, very modern, fast-moving tech space.
thing,
I think you've mentioned, honestly, very good point, because there's a lot of things that I'm using. I'm like, shall I post it? And I haven't posted a few things purely because I'm not sure.
Dude, like the
I'm
image generation thing, like if you look at the punishment of image generation,
Yeah.
it's one of the harshest punishments in Islam, right? Or one of the strongest that I've read. Now, what does that come? What comes under image generation is us generating a digital avatar using AI falling under that. I don't know. I'm not
This
saying
is the
anything
thing.
else. Is turning an image into
So-
video falling into that? I don't know.
So this is the thing, bro. So I posted a picture. There was this like trend going on where it turns into like essentially like a painting sort of thing, right? And the reason why I posted it is I'm not going to drop this sheikh into it, right? But I saw I saw one of them posting that, and I was like, oh, it must be okay because he's posted it, sort of thing.
Right.
But bro, you hit the nail on the head because there's a new trend. You must have seen that trend of the action figures.
That's the
Bro,
perfect example one that I didn't do, even though I was like,
dodgy.
So I made one, I'll be honest with you, and I shared it with family and friends, and I was going to post it. And this was before it like picked up, right, and became a trend, I would have been one of the ones starting the trend. But then that's another challenge because say I do that, and alhamdulillah I didn't post it, but say I'm the one who's somewhat contributed towards
the growth of it.
popularizing this trend, then bro, what is that? Like, as you were saying, that's just a huge sin. And
Which
then,
you don't, we don't know.
I don't
We're
know.
not sitting here saying
Yeah,
it is or is not.
it's just-
we just don't know.
But we don't know.
I'm saying if it
we-
was, and not only have I posted that, but I've also helped push that trend to make thousands, millions of others also follow that and do that, bro.
Look,
That's
first of all,
deep.
as someone who has like over 2 million subscribers on YouTube, you're a mainstream tech YouTuber, it's so refreshing and encouraging to know that someone who's in the mainstream like that, you're so conscious of those things. And it makes me feel happy just to know that with all the fitan, I'm sure, that exist in your career because of the world that you're in, to be conscious of those things and knowing that, look, that's a huge trend that could be big. We did something at Fresh Ghana. So we're launching this new project called the Digital Muslims Club, right? We're basically educating everyday Muslims how to leverage AI ethically. Yeah, that's the tagline. I said it's me. So basically, we created a digital avatar. And this digital avatar is going to be teaching, because that's how we can scale it much faster if we get the digital avatar to teach AI as opposed to us turning on a camera, editing it, this, that, the other, right? And so what we did is we created a digital avatar who's wearing sunglasses, he's wearing a face mask, he's wearing headphones, and so we're basically covering as much of his features to the point where it's like, okay, because like for example, there's more of a debate around like eyes and things like that, right? Like we're generating those kinds. So we've covered enough where we feel comfortable, and there's a fiqh opinion where, I mean, there's even probably fiqh opinions even like just to generate those. I don't know, like because they're pixels and they're not like images and whatever. But we feel comfortable now with the avatar that we've created. We've managed to create a digital avatar of a guy who's like kind of like from London. He's wearing like a Maghribi thobe and he's like teaching AI. And it's really cool, but he's wearing sunglasses, he's wearing a face mask, and we feel comfortable now to put that out. But still, I can't remember my point.
I mean, you're saying like to be careful and stuff, but
Yeah.
I think that is, I think
You
that
have
is
to
a good way.
those things, I guess.
And so your main point being that Allahumma barak Saf.
Yeah.
I you know, not to praise
Let me
too
just
much.
put it like, look, I need to be more conscious, right? And we all do, right?
All of us,
so,
right,
whatever it is, like I'm obviously trying as everybody else, but I'm nowhere near as conscious as I should be. So let me just put that there. I know you guys are praising me right now, but let me just kind of step back. I'm not, you know, nobody's perfect, but I'm nowhere near where I want to be or, you know, where I should be.
It's a journey for all of us, of course.
So, you know, but I think the point you mentioned there of having a shayukh who can, you know, who is in the day-to-day and can advise on that side of things, I think that would be something very helpful and useful because it is so new and it's moving so fast.
You know, someone like even like Ustad Hisham Abu Yusuf, who we had on the podcast, like from a candidate perspective, like I think that would be like, I mean, I'm like putting my foot in my mouth there because like I'm just like pushing him into a career that I'm sure he's like not interested in. But like from a perspective of he's still very young, you know, he seems very young in age. I don't know his age, but like as he gets older and older, and he's like, you know, he's very reliable. You know what I mean? Like he in his career, he's already been head of AI in like some large corporations and stuff. So from that angle, right now he's growth lead at Tertil, right? So he's like very much on the ground with regards to AI. But also he's got a really good grounding in terms of like his student of knowledge journey. And so someone like that, I can imagine in the next 10 years, 20 years, would become someone we really heavily might need to rely on for those like day-to-day questions of, Sheikh, like, what, and that's a big responsibility for him as well. I don't know if he even realizes that he actually is in this unique position where he's day-to-day using these, he's building automations, he's working as growth lead in an AI company, he's been head of AI in a huge corporation, at the same time, graduate of Al-Azhar, like, you know, Hafid of Quran, Allah Barak, and so like grounded in, got really good grounding in that sense. So maybe like that, someone like that would be important for us, I don't know.
I think so, for sure. But now, like even now, it's moving fast. Like right now,
So fast.
So
bro.
yeah, we need someone who can take these issues to the shuyukh and just like sit down with them for like hours and like demonstrate. And I mean, just show them like, look, I'm gonna do it in front of you. This is what it's like.
That's
Yeah.
a really good point.
You know what I
That's a
mean?
really good point.
And
Yeah,
just, like-
again, I would someone like that, like who can speak English and Arabic and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I can go to someone like a, you know, one of the senior scholars and like have them.
And I think like, you know, we often get surprised at who listens to the pod and like the positions they are in. If someone's listening, it's like you fit this criteria, which is quite a niche criteria. You know AI, you can use it. You have access to the shuyukh. You can go there, travel them, and speak to them and show them. If you fit that, I think there's a responsibility to go and do it.
Yeah, and you'd be doing a service to
so.
someone
Yeah,
because
100%.
because like that could shape generations to come.
And I don't think there's many people that fit that.
If one thing comes out from this, bro,
We just created the new best idea.
look, if one thing comes out from this
so
podcast,
hyped
if it's
for
Yeah,
that.
that,
honestly, if that, yeah.
honestly, I was saying if one thing comes out from this podcast and it's that would be amazing, man.
Yeah.
Inshallah, man.
Let's
Like
hope
honestly,
Suleiman's got this thing recording.
can you imagine we have this deep conversation? But no, you know, and obviously, if there's anything that we can do from that perspective as well, like where we can like see the latest AI trends,
yeah.
feed those in, then you know.
Oh, bro,
inshallah,
this
man.
is important, man, for sure.
So
Just shifting the conversation back over to we were talking about hardware and stuff. We recently got this new telly in the office. It's a Xiaomi. Now I don't know what you think about Xiaomi.
Xiaomi's awesome.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
So here's what happened with me. I went to Malaysia for in December for a work trip. And in the apartment, they had this like they had a Xiaomi TV, and bro, it just flowed so smooth, and it was like it was this beautiful smart TV, great visuals, great sound. And I went on Amazon, and they're like a percentage of the price of like a Samsung or LG and things like that. And so I was like, okay, if I next need a TV, I had a really good experience with this TV, I'll get Xiaomi. And so then when we got the office, I got the older Xiaomi in there.
Xiaomi do everything, man. Xiaomi even
These
make
cars.
cars.
Well, guess what? We also have a Xiaomi screwdriver.
Oh, yeah,
no,
is it?
dude, is it that black one?
Yeah.
Dude, I got the same one.
I'm gonna go get it right now.
Honestly, because I literally went and got the same one. I was like,
Really?
it's such a good screwdriver, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
Here we are on a podcast talking about screwdrivers. You have to see it.
The Xiaomi car, though.
Yeah.
What do you know about that? Because I don't know much, but it looks very good.
I mean, to be fair, I've not really looked into it too much because I don't think it's. I don't.
It's not your focus. I know it's not your focus.
No,
on
but
tech,
it's, I am into EVs, but it's like I don't think it's going to come to the UK. So
Really?
It's like,
Okay.
You know, if I'm not going to get a driver,
True,
look
true.
at that. There he is. Look at that.
Oh wow. Oh, was that
Xiaomi
Xiaomi?
screwdriver.
Right,
Okay.
so this is the screwdriver. Just absolutely stunning design. I
So
actually,
clean, like,
I
just-
was already like a fan of their hardware, but then I watched a Mr. Who's the Boss video, and he did an entire video all dedicated to just Xiaomi. So it's like a whole thing of just Xiaomi products, and so this is a
This is
screwdriver.
crazy.
But actually, bro, they have a drill as well.
Yeah.
And I wish I bought the drill as a screwdriver, because anything a screwdriver can do, a drill can do better.
That's true. That's true.
And because a drill can also screwdrive.
I'm so uninformed about modern tools. I would have called that a drill.
That's an electric screwdriver.
It's like a light drill, isn't it?
However, you might say, oh, you got an electric
That's a drill-
screwdriver.
that's a drill air.
But what if you have smaller screws? Well, let me present to you the Hoto electric mini screwdriver.
No way.
Now, I did initially purchase the, for those of you who didn't see the other one, it's that. I did initially purchase the Xiaomi electric screwdriver, which is exactly this, but Xiaomi. But they didn't have it in stock, so they sent me this instead. They said, look, we sent you this, it's the same thing, but a different brand. If you don't want it, we'll refund you. But it does the exact same things. This is beautiful, bro. So it's got all of these little, and these all magnetized.
Yeah. So you just put them in.
I haven't had to use it yet.
Okay.
And then
That's really cool.
look at that, you just hear that in the mic. That is just, look
That's
how
very
clean
cool.
that is.
Yeah.
I just love the minimal design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean, man. I think Chinese tech, like, again, I see the BYD cars and all, I mean, not just the BYD, you know. I saw it the other day. I don't want to mispronounce it. Is it Hongqi? It's in the Hongqi ones where it's like, it's essentially, it's essentially their answer to a Bentley.
Okay.
And I saw it in a car park and I was like, what? It was nice. It was like sunset, it was nice.
Yeah.
The lighting was good. It had LEDs on. The LEDs sort of go to the back in a very innovative way. But you could tell it was a premium car.
Yeah.
I was like, I've got to do this like weird walk through, because it was not where the entrance where I was going to go. So but I had to see this car.
Yeah.
So I kind of did this like weird walk around to see it. Like, it made me feel kind of creepy.
Yeah.
But boy, that is a nice car. I think Hongqi.
They have some good stuff, man. Even with BYD,
Yeah.
the only issue is that they have such high tariffs and import fees
Yep.
that, because, you know,
Even in UK?
China,
Or like in
the
UK
as well.
yeah.
Yeah. So any like, I heard there was some talks between the EU and China about like kind of reducing those, because I'm pretty sure if you got the BYDs for the price that they sell for in China, everybody would have one.
I just hate
Yeah.
the name, Build Your Dreams. Like, it's a weird name for
the name. So two things that I don't like. One, the names. The Hongqi is fine. A BYD,
Yeah, Hongqi's
that I'm
nice.
not 100%. And also the fact that they've sort of, it's a double-edged sword, because they've kind of ripping off, you know, Western design, like with the G12, for example, being the Defender.
Yeah.
Right? That's, on one hand, I thought, why do that? Why don't you put something else? But then on the other hand, that's why it's so cheap, right? I imagine a lot of investment goes into the design phase and making sure the design works, you know, you know, actually technically from a technical perspective works, and it's streamlined enough to hit certain speeds. So I guess by ripping off a little bit, they're saving a lot of costs, which is passed on to us, right? So it's kind of a double-edged string, but I do kind of wish they went like, let's do something like that looks very different.
I think that what you were just saying stuff about the Europe thing with these Chinese cars, I can't imagine anytime soon that they are going to reduce those tariffs, because the Chinese market will just take over the UK.
This is the thing.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
This is the thing, though,
It's
isn't
like
it? Like,
Dubai.
if you look at it, it's crazy when you look at the actual price, retail price of some of these BYDs. You know, everybody would buy one if you didn't have to pay the tariffs for them. because they're very good cars.
Because in Dubai, I'm assuming there's no these types don't exist because there's a lot of Chinese cars. Right?
Yeah, and they're cheap. They're quite cheap here.
And bro, there's this car like Kaya was saying. It's the G-Tour T2, and it's basically like the Defender.
Yeah.
But a Defender costs I don't know how much money brand new, and this G-Tour T2 brand new was £30,000.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and it comes with 10-year warranty.
That's
And
crazy.
it's
Was it 10
so
year?
beautiful inside. Some people have said that like it feels a bit plasticky inside, and like it takes a while to accelerate,
Yeah.
even on sports mode. But it looked. I
£30,000.
sat inside it.
We both said, I remember, in the
Yeah,
mall.
yeah.
It didn't feel plasticky to me at all.
No, and it was like you can customize. There's
Yeah.
massive widescreen. You customize the
Yeah.
color of the car inside.
I was doing that whole like push. You know, you push the panels and like it's squeaking. Oh, it sounds. This was not doing that. It was like solid.
Well, there you go, man. This is the thing. I think with a lot of people, if they're going to be able to get something that looks like a Defender for 30,000,
Yeah.
then they're not going to care.
that's gonna be a problem
I'm among
for-
those who do not care.
Yeah,
but
so
that's
there you
gonna be a
go.
problem for like
It is a problem
British
already.
born and bred
Yeah.
Range Rover.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
and I mean with Range Rover as well, like some of the new they're supposed to be releasing new electrics soon.
I've seen that.
Yeah, so I believe it was supposed to be 2025, 2026. So we'll see what they come up with. Because right now in the UK, it only makes sense to buy an EV generally, whether you're doing it from a corporation or you're doing it personally, because the second-hand market you can pick up EVs for so cheap.
Really?
Yeah.
And also, I assume because that petrol is so expensive as well.
Well, it's that side of things, but like for example, right now, so what happened is I don't want to go too accounting and technical, but as an incentive for a business, if you wanted to buy a company car, you would get in 2020, for example, it was 0% benefit in kind. So if you wanted to get a petrol car, you'd have to actually pay a lot of tax. But if you bought an electric car, you'd pretty much pay nothing, right? So
I remember that wave.
a lot of people, a lot of companies took advantage of that and bought electric cars. Now that it's been 4 or 5 years since that started, the second-hand market is flooded
I see.
with electric cars, right? So if you wanted to pick up an electric car, you could pick one up pretty cheap in the UK. Maybe it's got 40, 50,000 miles on the clock, which is still not bad for
good.
a
And
battery.
a scratch here and there.
But you could pick one up pretty cheap. So yeah, so in the UK right now for me, like it would only make sense to get an electric car, fully electric. Here, I'm not sure how it is in Dubai. I know I'm seeing a lot more. I'm seeing
it is. It's-
a lot of Polestars, Teslas.
Yes.
I'm seeing a lot
Oh, yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
But I mean,
big here.
initially it was the Polestars and Teslas that were like everywhere. Now it's BYDs everywhere.
Yeah, I've seen
G-Tour, like
Yep.
G-Tour's smashed it by the way. So here, the whole concept that it looks like a knockoff Defender hasn't really mattered.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Right,
yeah.
people, and yeah, there was even like one tweet about like somebody who was like based in Dubai who like tweeted against it. It's like, oh, anyone who gets the G-Tour is just like they couldn't afford the Defender, and then like their replies are full of people like totally disagreeing with them. I was like, no, this is definitely like the way to go.
I'd just be like, yeah, I can't afford a Defender, so I bought it.
You know what I
And
mean?
what?
Like,
Yeah, it's like,
that's essentially what they were saying. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, so what? If you can't afford Defender? Like, this is a great car.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it hasn't. I feel like the Chinese car market here, if it's not dominating everyone, it's about to.
No, but like you just have to take a look at Huawei, and so spelled Huawei, but it's
Yeah.
pronounced Huawei, right? So they were the parent company of Honor. Honor split off as well, but the competition they were bringing to the market, dude, like everything else aside, never buy. If you were somebody who never bought a Huawei phone, fair enough. What they were doing to the market in terms of like pushing Samsung, Apple to really like kind of improve their tech, just for that, it was worth having them in the market. And then the US put a ban on them using the Google Play Store. So they couldn't have Google services, which meant you could barely get, all of the popular apps and stuff like that. And it just completely tanked in the Western market, right? So there are some workarounds and stuff, but it's just not the same. But have you seen the triple fold from Huawei?
no.
I think I did see a video, like a short.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, it looks like a normal smartphone, and then it folds out into a
like a
full-on
iPad,
tablet.
yeah.
It's a three-way foldable, right? And they were the first to do it, right? And to an extent, other manufacturers that are like in the US and the UK and the West, they've kind of taken a step back because they don't have that competition. But now, like Honor's come in and they've got these smartphones and these foldables. Like I personally love the Magic series of Honor foldables. They've got the V3, V4. I think they're gonna have the V5 soon. super thin. Like you look at the phone and you wouldn't even know it's a foldable, and then it just folds open. It's got a beautiful screen.
Yeah, they're just gonna get thinner, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the thing. I think all points aside, if you don't want to buy a Chinese car, you don't have to. I'm not saying that you go out and do one. Having them in the market is great for all of us.
Yeah.
Because it's competition.
Yeah.
And it pushes the other manufacturers to bring prices down, to build better products, to bring some of the tech that you see on those cars into ones you will buy. So
I wonder if the Muslims are ever going to enter the car market in that
They
sense,
are.
right?
So UAE is building one.
Okay.
Turkey is building one, and it should be ready soon. So there you go. Those two.
Because you'd always have this thing in the back of your head, like, oh, like how much is this like impacting the whole situation with the Uyghurs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like, how, you do think about those things when you're going into like Chinese tech market and things like that. And you think it would be good if there was a Muslim brand that's building
100%.
cars.
And you made a very good point with the Uyghur situation. But I feel like us coming from the West, we kind of feel a bit safer. Oh, we're buying American or buying British. That doesn't come with as much stigma. When really, I don't see much difference for me to buy from China or buy from the US.
Which is why I'm saying it'd be good to see if there was a Muslim owned like
Inshallah soon, man.
in like the civilian. But yeah, it's always interesting.
So the UAE is building one, Turkey's building one. Those are the two that I know. Maybe there's more.
Turkey's building one, are they?
Yeah, it's been
Smart car.
Yeah, it's. Let me find the name of it. It looked pretty good. Let me just find it quickly. Turkish EV. It's called the TOG. TOGG.
Right.
Yeah. It's It should be ready soon because they've been building it for a couple of years now.
We'll see it in your driveway when it's ready.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like it's just like a
regular car.
If they're watching, I'm happy to review it.
Yeah.
Paul. I know someone here who loves buying the Porsche electric cars.
Okay.
I can.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a petrol version, and he loved it. And I went in his car, and it's just so. In fact, all of them, even Tesla, just feel so powerful. The Taycan felt very powerful. It didn't feel in any way like a decrease on petrol, right? Like even if you're a petrol head, you actually kind of still get that.
So
satisfaction.
you missed the noise.
That's it.
That's right.
The only thing
Taycan
people
was
say,
very quiet, actually.
the only thing people say is that they miss the noise. But if anything, like the torque and stuff is more because like you hit it and it's like boom, you're gone.
Yeah, like when you've
Like
got an electric, you could be like,
mode, right?
it's so funny when like in the UK and you like parked up next to like a rude boy, right? And they're like, and you just like, it's no point because I put my foot down and you're going to be miles away already because the torque on an electric car, it's just instant.
Insane,
Are you still driving electric?
Yeah, I'm still driving electric. But I mean,
just to stunt on the boys out on the road, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is just that noise that people miss. But I mean, I don't know. I'm getting older, man, so I don't want noise.
You have to be quiet. Yeah. You have to be quiet, like.
But the thing, if you're a petrol head, you really like
that.
You've grown up to be like, you can hear the engine. It's
I can't understand.
Do you even get fake noises
when
now?
I was growing up, right?
Can you?
Yeah, you can
electric
get fake
cars.
noises.
Electric cars with fake, like, so then they kind of give you that.
Really?
Same.
When I was growing up, I don't know about you guys. Maybe you guys are more petrol heady than me. But my older brother was, and like our cousins were. Like, hey, you hear that engine? I was like, yeah, I hear it. I didn't really care. It's like,
I would pay money to reduce that.
Yeah,
sound.
I was like, I'm not sure. Like, what are we excited about here?
You know, when you get older, you hear that and you're like, oh man, it's so annoying.
It's like 8:30 p.m. People are trying to sleep.
I'm trying to relax here. Yeah, it's just annoying me right now. So this is the thing, man. I don't know. I think EVs. I'm a bit biased, but I think for what you get and like especially for the incentives which may go in the UK in particular, right? For now, anyway, it just makes sense. The charging network might not be great, but it depends on how much you travel. Like for me. I do like trips to London and other places, but generally I'm just in the city anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And it's so cheap. Like, I can get to London and back on my sort of electricity tariff for like £6.50.
Oh,
wow.
There's nothing else.
No, of course.
No other form of transport, whether you go on a coach or anything that's going to be that cheap.
Even walking, you're going to pick up a Snickers on the way.
Yeah.
That's it.
Unless you go on the old megabus. Do you guys remember the megabus?
No.
Do you remember the megabus?
I remember the megabus.
I don't know if that still exists.
I don't know if that
Did you dream this vehicle?
So I used to study in Cardiff, right?
Yeah.
And Cardiff to London is 2.5 hour drive.
Okay.
And there used to be, I might still exist, but there used to be this thing called the megabus, which is £1 ticket from Cardiff to London. £1,
wow,
and it was
that's
pretty
brilliant.
decent bus, bro.
Is it still about?
It wasn't like you're standing.
Is it still about?
I don't know, but
Let's talk
I
about it.
used to bougie old me
Yeah.
go for the Mega Bus Gold.
Okay.
Because that
look
was
at
like
that.
£1.20.
because that was like no. That was like £5.
Wow.
Some was £7, maybe even 15. And it was like you get a table. You get like a big
Wow.
private. It was like a private jet.
That sounds
on a car.
good.
And it's like a £5. Yeah, Mega Bus Gold.
That sounds
So
Sponsor us now.
That's great.
yeah.
I'm
think
sure they
they're
don't
not-
exist
I
anymore.
don't think they exist anymore. Yeah.
With those prices,
yeah,
it was a
yeah,
good business model.
look, when I was it's a bit further back now. When I was like starting secondary school,
Oh, that is really far back.
yeah, this is a prehistoric. You,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
jump on a T-Rex and go
Raji
home.
Noura, yeah.
No, but you.
We're
it's
talking
like-
about tech here,
Yeah.
Kaya.
it was 20p to get on the bus home. 20p,
yeah, I
man.
remember that,
Now it's
yeah.
like I think it's like £14. I don't know. What
Yeah, I remember my mum, we used to get on the bus and my mum would pay with, first of all, she'd pay with cash, so she didn't even
Yeah,
get Oyster
yeah.
card. And she would like, the bus guy would be like, yeah, like there's 20p for like the kids. No, the kids were like free and it was just
Yeah.
sick, yeah.
Times
Yeah.
have changed, man.
Sick times, man.
London,
20p
bro.
bus ride.
London, I like, you guys all from London here. I do not blame you, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to put London down. I do like London. I don't think anybody can love London. If you say you love London, you're lying. Because if you've been on the tube on a hot summer's day and you've got some
Yeah.
dude's armpit in your face, you can't love that unless you're into that. But I don't think you would be. But it's just, man, like, it's crazy. We were just talking earlier, like, you know, you've got 5 miles and it takes you an hour and a half to cover those
Yeah,
5 miles.
the traffic can get crazy.
Because the city's not built for cars, right? It's an old city.
Yeah.
London, when it was, the roads are like tiny and stuff like that. Like you look in Dubai, you've got like 7-8 lanes, right? And I'm not saying you don't get the traffic here and stuff as well, right? But in London, you're just like, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
stop.
3 lanes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saf, lovely to have you on the pod. Before you go, what's happening? What we got to look forward to in the world of SuperSaf?
Well, next month, there's going to be WWDC, Worldwide Developer Conference for Apple. So that's the next thing that I'm going to be going to.
Where is that, in San Fran?
That's going to be in Cupertino, so at the
Of
Apple
course. I'll
headquarters.
just edit that out because I sound silly.
Near San Francisco.
Fine.
Like
Nice.
about an hour drive or something from
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
So,
It's all the same.
yeah, it's all around that same area.
Yeah.
US.
Just jump on the Waylo.
Maybe got Megabus.
It says, yeah, shame they don't have Megabus, man.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'd go on that.
Exactly.
Luxury. And there's going to
You
be...
can actually go from Leicester to Cupertino for £1.50.
Yeah. Brilliant. But yeah, apart from that, more stuff on the channel. There's going to be... some stuff, I always have to kind of think about it because I'm like, can I mention that?
Am I in embargo right now?
Embargo.
Am I
yeah.
under embargo? There's going to be lots of stuff coming up on the channel which you can keep up with. But yeah, no, it's always good to come here.
It's lovely to have you on, man. I appreciate
Right,
you always
of
making
course,
time
man.
for us.
No, I appreciate you making time for me. Every time I'm in Dubai, I just drop a Faisal message, and you know, he's always makes time for me, man. So I appreciate it.
Likewise.
I
man.
see you more here than I used to when you were in
Yeah,
London.
of course. But
so
that's
funny,
actually the
innit?
nice thing. That's with everybody, bro. Because
Yeah.
this is like, it's a small city, but also it's just the lifestyle here. Like you just have more time, bro. Like I don't remember being able to have time in the UK for like dinners and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
you just tend to like, oh yeah, cool. Like let's like grab dinner at 7 tonight. Like I don't know why that is.
The little conveniences here just add up. I mean,
Yeah.
just, you didn't have to run to the shop for this, you didn't have to run to the shop for that, and therefore you just got an extra 20 minutes today because you didn't have to run to Tesco twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or sit an hour and a half in traffic.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. That's it.
Over 5 miles,
100%.
which would take you 10 minutes if it wasn't traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
All the Londoners are gonna hate me, man. They're like, this guy from Leicester
How can you
complaining
hate?
about
Yeah,
London.
no. SuperSaf is unhateable.
Yeah.
But Jazakallah khair for your time. Really appreciate it. Lovely to have you on, and inshallah we'll have you on again in the future. Jazakallah khair. Thank you guys for listening to episode 387 of Freshly Grounded. Oh, we're nearing the 400. We've got a nice little announcement coming for you guys soon. Hopefully, maybe.
on.
Got some talks going on via email with some people.
Negotiations.
Yeah. Jazakallah khair, everyone. Thank you, Saf. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam.
Alaikum salam.